I came home one morning and my front door wouldn't open. Not because it was locked, because my landlord had nailed it shut while I was gone. And that was the exact moment I stopped being scared of him and started letting the system do what he never expected. Hi, my name is Olivia. I've had bad landlords before, but this guy, calling him human feels generous. For 3 years, I lived under someone who treated tenants like walking ATMs, not people, not neighbors, just targets. And the worst part? He thought he was untouchable. It started small. That's how they always do. One day, my dryer, located in a shared common area, just vanished, along with other household items that weren't his. No warning, no explanation. When I asked about it, he shrugged, said he needed them. Needed them? Like stealing from tenants was just a perk of ownership. Then came the plumbing. One morning, I woke up to water backing up where it shouldn't. I reported it immediately. A week later, I got the bill. Hundreds of dollars. When I questioned it, he smirked and said it was my responsibility, even though the plumber clearly wrote normal wear and tear. I paid it anyway, because when you're renting, you're always calculating risk. How much can I push before this gets worse? Then one night, I heard something at the door, a rattling, a scraping sound. My heart jumped into my throat. Someone was trying to get in. I froze, barefoot, lights off. It stopped after a few seconds. The next morning, I noticed scratch marks near the lock. When I confronted him later, he laughed it off, said I was imagining things. That was the first time I realized this wasn't just a bad landlord. This was someone who enjoyed intimidation. The breaking point came over a parking spot. He sent me a letter, formal, threatening, claiming I owed him money for a space I'd always been allowed to use. I showed it to a lawyer. That was apparently unforgivable. Suddenly, my rent was going up, an extra $150 a month. No justification, just punishment. I'd paid rent on time for 3 straight years, except once. And that was only because he forced me to pay for his plumbing issue. 2 days late. He never forgot it. He never forgave it. And here's the thing. The apartment? It was a disaster. The porch had been unsafe for years. Rotting wood, loose railings. When he finally replaced it, no permit. Not up to code. Paint peeled from the ceiling like dead skin. The gas heater? Illegal. The plumbing? Also illegal. This place wasn't just uncomfortable, it was dangerous. But landlords like him rely on silence, on fear, on tenants believing it's easier to endure than to fight. Then the letter came. A rent increase, $500 a month. No upgrades, no repairs, just greed. That's when something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. The fear evaporated. I found a new place, and for the first time in 3 years, I had leverage. 4 days before I moved out, I made one phone call. The building inspector. I told him everything. The porch, the plumbing, the heater, the permits that never existed. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't rant. I just told the truth. The inspector showed up the very next day. I watched from my window as he took measurements, wrote notes, photographed violations, each one a $500 per day fine until fixed. I don't know exactly what happened after that, but I know this. For the first time, my landlord wasn't in control. A week before I moved out, he texted me. Told me I had to be gone by a specific time. I didn't respond because legally that's not how it works. So he escalated, threatened to call the police. I went to the police first, explained everything. That morning he showed up, yelling, threatening, trying to scare me into compliance. I called the police. They arrived, and for once, he was the one being told he was wrong. I left briefly to drop things at storage. When I came back, my door wouldn't open. He had broken into my apartment and nailed the door shut. That's when I asked for a supervisor. He fled before they arrived because he knew breaking and entering, felony. The police report was filed. Charges are coming. Power only works when people are afraid to challenge it. He thought I'd stay quiet, thought I'd be trapped. Instead, he ended up with fines, charges, and a permanent spotlight on his behavior. Justice doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like paperwork and consequences that don't go away.